Hey everyone, this is Leanne from Of Love and Shiplap and the founder of Sublimation Graphics and Tutorials. Please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss out on any new videos. Today's tutorial is on how to sublimate a double-sided stainless steel keychain bottle opener from Johnson's Plastics Plus. This particular one was part of one of the Sublimation trend boxes. And if you haven't checked those out, be sure to see our other videos where we reviewed the items that came in the trend boxes we've received so far. The Sublimation Trend Box is a quarterly subscription box from Johnson's Plastics Plus that includes up to 8 full-size sublimation items. This is a great way to try out new products that you may not have thought of before, gauge interest from your customers, and just see if you like them and they're a good fit for your business or craft-based hobby. The aluminum bottle openers are under $2 each to make. That's including the print, ink, paper cost, all of that. And they retail for anywhere between $5 and $8. They're also a great grab and go item if you happen to be working vendor fairs and you want to have something that's easy to have by your checkout that will be an easy item for customers to want to add. This is also a great item to include as part of a gift set, maybe with some glasses that are personalized for any type of occasion or holiday. Let's start by getting our measurements and then we'll set up our design in Affinity Designer and go ahead and press this. The aluminum keychain bottle opener from Johnson's Plastics Plus is nice and flat on both sides and you can print on both sides. So we're just going to go ahead and get those initial measurements, even though this does come with a template. It's important to always measure because there can be small differences in the manufactured product and the template that's provided. Getting your measurements ahead of time ensures that your print is going to be right every single time. And most importantly, we want to determine the size of our main design area, which that is not going to necessarily be in the template. So because it has this rounded edges, we're going to try and center it right in the middle and then just go all the way across. You can see we're at 1 15/16. And then we're at 1 1/8 for the width. So we can go ahead and write that down. Don't worry if you don't know all of the decimal equivalents to the fractions for your design program. I have a free printable PDF ruler that has those decimal equivalents written on it. You can download that on my website. The link is in the video description. Now, the next thing I want to look at is this space in the middle and get a good idea for how big I think a design should be. This is really just all about the aesthetic. So let's see. I would say doing about 3/4 of an inch across is going to be pretty reasonable. Let's see how it looks in the other direction. Yeah, I would say 0.75 by 0.75 for whatever happens to be a main image in the middle is going to be ideal. Now, this can be printed the full bleed. So, this is really just about considering where that design is going to fall and making sure that anything that's important isn't going to be cut off in the process. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down as well. And now we're ready to kick it over to Affinity Designer and set up our design to print on our Epson F570 SureColor sublimation printer. We're going to go ahead and set up a quick bottle opener design in Affinity Designer. I am working on a Windows PC, but the steps you'll follow will be the same on a Mac, and it won't matter if you're using version 1 or version 2 of the software. We'll start by opening up the page size that we plan on printing on. Now this bottle opener is pretty small, so I am just going to use a letter size page. Technically, I'm only using half a sheet, but you don't really have to adjust that in the printer. So we'll just go ahead and come to File, New, and choose my letter size. You want to make sure that your color format for printing is set to RGB/8 when you're printing for sublimation. The most current color profile is this sRGB IEC followed by some numbers. Now that is going to be the default one it selects. If you are using a Mac or an older PC or printer, then you may find you get better color accuracy with the Adobe RGB 1998. That's the previous color profile. Again, specifically Macs, Mac computers and those who might be using older devices. Everything I have is fairly new, so the most current color profiles are going to work for me just fine. These settings are universal when it comes to sublimation. This is not your ICC profile. That is all part of your printer properties, and that's relevant to your ink, your printer, all of those things. When you have everything set up, go ahead and click Create. Now I also want to open the template that was provided by Johnson's Plastics Plus for their bottle opener. So I'm just going to go to Open Recent since I already opened it. And when you open up a PDF, I did download the PDF version that was available. You're going to get this, this little text box up, and you do want to make sure that you're loading all the pages and just click OK. You'll see that this is going to come in as a layered sheet. We really only care about, this part here. So all I'm going to do is select those layers by selecting the one at the top, holding down my Shift key and selecting the one at the bottom in terms of just the layers where we want to print stuff in. And I'm just going to copy it and paste it over onto my other sheet. Now, technically, if you're only going to do one side or you're going to do the same design on both sides, you only need one of these, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm only going to select one group. So again, right click and copy or use Control or Command C, next, and paste. Now with these layers, I want to select the blue layer. The blue layer is the one that is technically the outline of the actual bottle opener. And what I want to check is underneath Transform, I want to make sure that the measurements it has match with the measurements that I measured myself. So let me find my bottle opener here. It's so small, I lost it. Oh, there it is. Okay. So we had 1 1/8 by 1 15/16. So yes, those measurements match. We'd always just want to double check. And if we were doing a full bleed, we do have a nice full bleed background. And that's where we're going to be focusing. So the next thing we got to do is just import whatever type of design that we want to fill in and clip into this layer. So this green layer, this is our bleed layer. And this blue outline layer, this is our product edge. And this curve layer is really just the central design area. Now remember that the central design area is roughly 3/4 of an inch by 3/4 of an inch. It's really small. So you want to keep that in mind, that something with like a lot of text is not really going to be good for this. I'm not going to get all that fancy with this. I'm actually just going to do a monogram, but I want to do like a nice wood background effect. I feel like that'll be fun on something like this. So I'm going to start by importing a wood-like digital paper. Just click on that Place Image tool, which is the picture icon in your Tools panel on the left side of your screen. I've got a variety of wood grain digital papers here. I want to keep in mind that the bottle opener is stainless steel, so that is going to impact the color results, right? Because it's not white. I think we'll do one like this will be good. I kind of like that darker cherry one, so we'll go with that one. I'm going to click OK in my File Explorer, and then when I see the downward arrow with the portal, I know I am ready. Click and drag holding on your mouse until you cover over that entire space. And then you're going to select this layer in your Layers panel. You want to hold your cursor down on it and then drag it until your cursor is touching the name of that bleed layer. And if you look at the screen right now, over on the document space, you can see that it's clipped inside. This is how you know you're in the right place. Your cursor should be touching the name. This is going to be relevant in version 1 and version 2. There is a slight difference with Mac, but I don't actually know off the top of my head. You should be able to sort of finagle it. Now, one thing we always want to watch out for is any colored edges. So see, this has color here. We can actually come right to that color panel now and just choose the no fill option, which is this little tiny circle with the red line through it. We'll select that for both of them. So I've got my full bleed background. I'm good there. And now I just need whatever kind of design or whatever that I plan on putting on this. So I decided to keep it simple and actually just do a monogram. So I'm going to select my artistic text tool, I'm going to click and drag, and I am going to type the letter J in capital. I know, super, super uneventful here, but this is a really great product for my brother, so I'm actually just going to save it for Christmas. But I'm going to choose a font that I like. I'm a big fan of using Times New Roman for monograms because I just like this. I like the serifs, honestly. Next, I'm just going to click and drag it, try and get it centered. Notice that there is a green line that is extending from the top to the bottom of the actual bleed layer that we have there. That's what we want to see. You will see that when you have your snapping guides activated, which is this magnet icon here. I can zoom in a little bit more as well, so this is easier to see for you guys. So it'll only happen when you're holding on, when you have your cursor pressed down, and when you're right smack dab in the middle. So this is how I know I'm right in the middle of that product. I have successfully hit that edge to edge. And then the red is aligning with the orange box, I believe, that we see there, because it's not actually the middle of the other two. So I'm pretty sure it's the orange outline that it's aligning with. But the main one we're looking for is that green one, and we can kind of eyeball the rest. So I'm going to get it nicely in between my little orange outline here. And I am then going to set this to erase from my blend mode. So in your layers panel, come to this drop down menu, scroll all the way down and select erase. And that way the J is actually going to be the silver of the bottle opener, which I think will give it a nice look. It'll sort of give it like that engraved vibe without it actually being engraved. Now, the two layers that you have here, you can just delete them, you can hide them, toggle the visibility, whatever you want to do. I'm going to go ahead and delete them. I don't need those. And now I have just what I need. J's always throw me off because, you know, this little bulb on them, like it's not centered, and it drives me insane. So I'm going to just tap it over like 2. That's normal whenever I use a J, but click and drag over the entire thing, right click and select group. Now this is able to be a double-sided bottle opener, so we will go ahead and duplicate that by right click in our layers panel and then select duplicate and then just move that over. Now I don't know if these were close enough here that you could actually fold this page in half and have them line up that way. They might have been, let's see. I don't think it says. It does not, but it does have, you know, all of this information for your printing of the bottle opener. So that template's very handy. Again, that's underneath the product listing on Johnson's Plastics Plus. The product itself is linked below in the video description. But once we've got our two, I'm going to go ahead and center them on my page because I'm neurotic. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. And I'm going to send this off to print on my Epson SureColor F570 Pro printer. So we'll come to File, Print. You want to select your printer from your drop-down menu, and then you want to select Properties. Don't touch any of this. Select Properties, and this is where you will make any and all changes for your specific printer. So if you have ICC profiles, if you have color correction settings, if you have any of that stuff with your current printer, this is where you do it. I don't have to make any type of big changes here. I literally just want to make sure that my source is set to auto sheet feeder, which it is. And I want to make sure that media type is set to rigid. It's going to alert me that I have the wrong media type set on the printer. That's okay. I'm going to change it really quickly and then just go ahead and print. I don't need a print preview, but this is often check marked. And by default, it is going to mirror this, which is all that I want. I want this to be mirrored for my bottle opener transfer. So I'll go ahead and click OK and then click OK again, and it will go ahead and print for me. So now that we have our print for our bottle opener, I do want to be able to keep this as one piece and just be able to like fold it in half and have it hinge over my bottle opener itself. So I'm just going to trim really close to these outer edges first and foremost. But I'm going to leave that middle area intact. Now I've got this light up board. I absolutely love this for lining different things up. This is fantastic. It is from Amazon. This one is the super B size one, which I specifically wanted because a lot of times we are doing bigger items that we need to line up, especially like MDF door hangers. And this can come in very handy. So check out the link for this in the video description. I'm a big fan of this fun little item. So we're going to go ahead and just set this on our light up mat, and we're going to look and get these lined up. Now you could also like hold this up to a light if you have one. That works well too. This particular paper is a little bit thinner, so it's easier to see this. I'm using my printer jack sublimation paper. But other papers that are thicker, it can be a little hard. Now my J's are not going to line up exactly because they are opposite of each other. So I'm basically just looking to line up the edges of that bottle opener. And once I get that totally lined up, I am going to put a nice little crease there. And then of course, always double and triple check. You can just kind of hold it and be like, okay, are we really lined up at the edge? Like that, which we are. Everything looks good. So next we're going to go ahead and insert our bottle opener. We want to get it nice and centered. Again, you can do this if you do find it easier. You can do it on the surface, but I'm going to hold it. We're going to go right ahead. Yeah, I'm eyeballing it. That looks very centered to me. So I'm going to hold that really tightly because we're doing both sides at once. And I'm going to fold my piece over. Hold very tightly. Don't let go. And we'll go ahead with some heat tape, and I'm just going to fold it in there. Now again, I do still want to be, I do want to be very careful about making sure I'm not like pressing down the transfer on the edges, causing any crinkles, anything like that. I want to keep everything nice and tight. Just always keep your finger on where the bottle opener is. You can't really see it when you put it on here because you've got so many layers, but definitely just hold it best you can and don't let it go. You could do one side, then you only have to tape one side. That's also fine as well. So we're going to put this over on our heat press, and all we need to do is just take a piece of blowout paper and literally just fold it over top of this and set this on our heat press. So let's go ahead and do that. So I've gone ahead and just folded a piece of blowout paper in half. We've got our bottle opener right there. We're going to slide that on under. And we are doing this at 400 degrees for 50 seconds. We'll go ahead and pull that down. Move in a little closer for you guys. So I am doing medium pressure and I'm doing 50 seconds. This is what I generally use for any type of metal sublimation insert. So I think it'll be perfect for the bottle opener as well. The directions from Johnson's Plastics had a different time and temp. So I am really just going with what I felt was best. So once again, these bottle opener keychains are great standalone or as a gift set. I would probably go like the monogram route or some type of design that doesn't really have a lot of text in it to really just do your best to move this product. We're going to want some hot gloves, of course. All right. Ooh. Very hot. All right. I'm going to keep the gloves on because it is pretty hot. Oops. Ouch. All right, we better just leave it there because it is very, very hot. You can see the colors look great. I like the idea of using that J in the middle. It definitely just gives it like that, you know, just the metal look like it's supposed to. So I just did a simple wood grain background. You guys saw me set it up. It's very quick and easy to do, and you can find those wood grain digital papers on any resource site, my favorite, of course, being Creative Fabrica. Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.